Please welcome Partner Director of Product Management, Microsoft, Zach Rosenfield.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us. Really excited to be here with you all today. My name is Zach Rosenfield. I am a Director of Product on the SharePoint team, and we have a great show for you today. But before we get started, I just want to take a moment to express our gratitude for you, the greatest community in tech. Many of you have been on this journey with us for many years. We've gotten feedback from you, which has really helped us to shape the product into what it is today. And so I just want to take a moment for myself, for my fellow presenters, for the team back at home to just say thank you for the work you've put into this community and the work you continue to do. All right, SharePoint. We have put so many features into this product, and it's what makes it the most trusted and flexible platform. On the screen here, you see just a small subset of the capabilities that we've put into it. But over the years, we've been packing features in built on this foundation of performance, scale, reliability, and security. And it's that foundation which really allows us to power experiences across Microsoft 365. OneDrive, Lists, Stream, SharePoint, of course, all powered on this incredible platform. But there's one logo on that slide that's really important. It's Copilot. Any large language model, whether it's Copilot or one built elsewhere, is grounded on data in the internet. And that's great. You can ask fun, exciting questions like how many elephants fit in Dodger Stadium, and it'll do a pretty good job. But what really matters is your business. And so this is what sets Copilot apart. It has access to your data estate, but it maintains security access and privacy controls. And so in the era of AI, SharePoint is what grounds AI in your business. And with over 2 billion new files added to SharePoint every single day, these experiences are just getting more intelligent and richer. And so this is how we think about SharePoint in the era of AI, that it's time to put your content to work. And so we're going to just look at that concept in several ways here today. We'll look at improvements and innovations across the entire product line. You'll see document solutions, you'll see enhanced fundamentals, and just new features across OneDrive, SharePoint, Pages, and more. Now, all this is built on the extensibility model of SharePoint. So any devs in the audience, you're going to be able to build on top of this. And whether you're a developer or IT, you know that when you store data in SharePoint, it comes with the same security and compliance promises that you're used to. And so with that, we're actually going to dive right into our first round of demos. First, we're going to look at OneDrive and Lists. And so please help me welcome to the stage Lincoln Damaris.
Hello, everybody. I am delighted and privileged to show you some of the latest things we've been cooking up in the world of OneDrive. Let's get started. No better way to get started than create a new file. So I'm going to hit the biggest, bluest button on the page here. We've brought a few new things into this experience to help you stay focused and create the right files in the right places. First is location. I can click here and easily customize the location where my new file is getting created. So I can pick from one of my beautiful color folders in my files, or I can pick a team site location from my list of recent and pinned team sites in Quick Access. And you're going to see this list a lot of times throughout this session, so clap when you see it. Cool. I've picked a location for my new file. We've also brought templates into focus here. I can tap once to see templates provided by my organization. I also can browse these fetching templates from Microsoft Create. This one looks really cool. Just tap this button, and you're off to the races. But of course, It's not always about starting a new file. It's often about getting back to something you're working on. I can search for my colleague Irfan here, and we've improved the search experience to help you narrow down and find precisely the file that you're looking for. We've brought location into the search results page so you can see the location of every file that's being returned. You can also tap once to filter a search to only your personal files. There's also filters to help you select folder or the right content type. Of course, the usual suspects are here, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, but there's other things like Loop, Photos, Whiteboard. So once you've found the perfect file, oftentimes you want to keep it around for later. And that's really just as easy as tapping this star to add it to your favorites. Now, if you want to do something a little bit more advanced, you can hit this Add Shortcut button to stash a shortcut of that file in one of your favorite locations. So here's that same list of locations again. I can select this folder here, and it won't move or copy the file. It will just put a shortcut reference into that folder so people in that folder can see it. Let's dive into that file and look at the improvements we've made to the new editor. We've made this file viewer wicked fast, so you can get into the flow of work faster than ever. It's super easy for me to tap in here and start making annotations. I'm just gonna draw a heart around OneDrive. Occasionally, I have to do work a little more sophisticated than drawing hearts on things, and so I need edit access to this file. One of my favorite new features is this button here, which has made it really easy to request edit access for files that I don't currently have the ability to edit. So just with a couple taps, I can request edit access to this file if I need to make changes. We've also worked really hard on optimizing the sharing dialog you all know and love. This thing is fast too and is now used well over 1 billion times every month throughout the ecosystem to share files and other things. So it's never been easier to hover over this button, see who has access to the link, click once to copy that link to your clipboard. It's also a snap, just click the gear, and you can dial the permissions up or down to control who has access via that link. But sometimes you want to do more than just send a link to someone. Sometimes you want to create a summary or write a personalized message to Meg and Bowen here. And you saw me click that Copilot button there. Copilot is here to help. This is a summary of that document from Copilot. Of course, with sharing, you're always in control, so I can fix it up a little bit and send that off to Megan. Thanks, Copilot. All right, we've focused on search. Let's look at some browse capabilities that we've added to the OneDrive website. You saw in the keynote the meetings view. Naomi talked about it. I want to talk about my favorite new feature to this view, which has really helped me out. You see this little recurring arrow here? We've brought recurring meetings to this meetings view. If your team is anything like mine, recurring meetings are the lifeblood of your team's operations, and some of the most important files are shared there. And so we use this view all the time to get back to those files shared in meetings. We're also introducing this new media pivot. And so what this does is it shows me images and videos and rich media stored across my OneDrive. I love to use this timeline view here to relive interesting memories from my work life, like this video that I recorded during the heart of the pandemic for some presentation. So you can all relive this with me now thanks to the media view. Okay, let's talk about performance and reliability. Now I'm going to show you something a little bit crazy, something you don't see on stage every day. I'm going to disconnect from the Wi-Fi. And so once I do that, my computer's offline, but you're going to see something incredible. I can continue to use the OneDrive website like nothing has happened. I can continue to filter. So what's going on here? Is it magic? Well, my friends, OneDrive is not your average website. OneDrive doesn't request information over the internet every time. It talks directly to the sync client running on your computer. Not only does it make it crazy fast, it makes it robust against network interruptions like this one. And you can see OneDrive will let me happily make changes, like rename this file, and I get this friendly notification here that lets me know, hey, once you connect again, those changes will make their way back up to the cloud. So this groundbreaking capability is rolling out now. OneDrive, wicked fast, online, offline, always available, whether you're dealing with a spotty Wi-Fi connection on the convention floor or you're on the airplane somewhere. Cool. So OneDrive is more than just a super wicked fast website. It is the Microsoft 365 app for working with your files. Let's take a look at what that means. Of course, any conversation about files means talking about Office. And so we're working really hard with the Office team to bring the OneDrive features and locations that you know and love to the open and save experiences. Like you see here, colored folders, and that same list of document library locations available when you're opening and saving files in Office. We're also bringing, or we have already brought, the OneDrive app to Teams for people using the new Teams application. So you see here, consistent look and feel inside of Teams. We've also brought it to Outlook on the web and for people using the new Outlook app. One more place, we mentioned this in the keynote as well, we were bringing the OneDrive app to Microsoft365.com. First, as a new app that you can pin in your left navigation, and later as an upgrade to the My Files experience that you have there today. And this is a super important part to bringing consistency and coherence to the suite. OneDrive is always there anytime you need your files. But wait, there's more. I want to talk about one more place where files are stored. Are there any document library fans in the house? Come on, that's right, document library fans. Well, I am delighted to announce that later this year, we are going to bring the biggest change to the document library experience since 2016. We're going to bring those consistent best-of-class visuals from OneDrive into all document libraries, work with metadata, whether you're in a SharePoint team site or inside the OneDrive app, and we're going to bring more of your favorite features from Microsoft Lists to document libraries, like this gorgeous board view, tuned and optimized for file-centric workflows. Looks pretty good, right? I think I tapped. Cool. All right. Speaking of lists, it's time for me to put on my list hat and show you some of the awesome new stuff we're working in the world of lists. Okay. So, one of my favorite things to do at work is to create beautiful lists like this one to track and organize information. But the problem with lists is even if you build it, they don't always come. So I'm going to show you our latest feature, Forms, which is to help you streamline the collection of data into the place that it belongs, which is a list. So I can tap here, and I can customize a really beautiful data entry experience for anybody who needs to put data in this list. So I can drag and drop fields to change the order. I can change theme. I'm going to pick blue, like my entire outfit here. And I can even customize the schema of my list inside this form builder. So I'm going to tap here, click choice, and too many of my team members are booking business class travel, so I need to start collecting and auditing on that. So I'm going to make business red because it's scary. I'm going to make economy green so people pick it. And voila, I have added a new field to my list, and it's on the form. Let's check our work here. Always good to do that. I can tech preview, and I can see exactly what it's going to look like for my team when I send them the link, asking them to fill out their travel requests. I can click, and I can verify that my formatting and data is working all good. Cool, looking good. To share it, it's as easy as tapping copy link. And I can rest assured that people that receive this link will be able to add data to the list via the form, even if they don't have access to the entire list, so they can't see other people's responses. Super critical feature. Okay, now that I have data flowing in, well, I can use these tools in the list to sort by airfare. I can group by approval status. Great, I have a clean view of the things that I need to take action on. But what if there was an easier way to bring attention to items in the list that need the team's attention first? I'm going to switch over to my conference event itinerary list. And you notice here, I have formatted my breakout sessions in this list to be highlighted in blue to make sure people can see them. But I need to do even more. I want them to show up at the top. So to do that, all I have to do is click and drag and drop. That's right, drag and drop reorder coming to all lists soon. Who's wanted this feature and was frustrated it didn't show up? Well, we're building it. Good stuff, right? Cool. All right. Oh, look at that. Well, we're done. I went drag and drop crazy. I guess I drug till it dropped, literally. Right, cool. Back to the session. List forms rolling out now. Best way to configure an experience for your team when you need to collect data inside of a list. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the things we're thinking about next. We think the best way to take action on a list or a form is in the context of the collaborative apps that you're using. And so if I send you guys a link to a form, I don't want you to have to click it and open a new tab to take action. I want you to be able to take action right inside of Teams, right inside of Outlook, right in the flow of getting work done. That's what List is all about, getting stuff done. Okay, List is hot, and so are these lights. So I'm going to take off my List hat now. And I'm sure you're not shocked to see Copilot on this slide. We're going to talk a lot about Copilot at this conference. We're kind of into it. You're going to be into it too, because it's going to transform the way that you work with files. So you saw me in the sharing dialog click that summarize button to generate a summary. Copilot in OneDrive is more than just summarization. Everybody's OneDrive is a beautiful library of information that nobody has time to read in its entirety. So anytime you see a file in OneDrive, you can click to see that summarization, to get that help, to get that quick peek of what's inside the file, so you can help do your job faster. But it's about more than just summarization. I can tap this Ask Copilot button to open the Copilot pane and start a conversation about this file. Copilot is able to ground its responses in any content that you have access to. It's very well read, but thankfully, it also has the ability to focus. So I'm focusing this conversation on just this file to ask it to clarify some information that I saw in the summary. Copilot is not just about your favorite Office files. We're working really hard to make it multimodal as well. So remember that media view I showed you earlier? Soon, you'll be able to ask Copilot questions about any image that's saved in your OneDrive. So if you take a picture of something in the field and you need to ask questions about it later, Copilot's there to help you. It can help you capture notes from a whiteboard photo you took, or it can suggest ways to improve the website design you've been working on. Lots of really cool stuff. To save you even more time, we're bringing Copilot actions to the For You cards on the OneDrive homepage. So if you have an upcoming meeting, you'll be able to summarize docs related to that meeting in just one click. But there's more. With Copilot, we want to help you spend less time trying to catch up to get your job done. Copilot will soon let you catch up on all the important files and file activity that you may have missed. So if you're coming back from vacation, we've all been there, you need to catch up on what happened, Copilot will summarize file activity according to when you've been mentioned, or summarize changes made to files that you've shared with others. Can't wait for this feature. It's going to save you a ton of time. And that's all I have today. Thank you very much. You've been a great audience. Back to you, Zach.
Thank you, Lincoln. Amazing set of demos, even more amazing of a hat, but great to see. So with that, we saw a lot of innovation. I want to turn your attention to our roadmap. This covers everything that Lincoln was talking about. Our OneDrive and List teams are working on a whole lot more, but for the things you saw, you can follow along as to when those are available. Some are available now, many more coming soon. And now we're going to continue our journey with SharePoint. We are focused on simple site and page creation. We're redefining content creation with easy to build, yet compelling pages with images, videos, and advanced layouts. We're building tools to help you generate engagement from your users. And all of this is built on a flexible platform so you can tailor it to exactly your needs. So here to share the latest in sites, pages, search, stream, and more, please welcome Melissa Torres.
Thanks, Zach. Let's get started with simple authoring. Today, I'm excited to introduce the new Authoring Copilot in SharePoint, which is set to transform the way that sites and pages get created. Our journey begins with the newly redesigned and AI-powered SharePoint Start experience. From here, you can see a set of templates that you can start with. Now, when I go ahead and hover over them, I see the prompt that Copilot will use to create. Now, I can go click Create, or I can edit the prompt to make it my own. So let's do that. Now, I'm building a new campus building update status update. So I'll give it that, and I can set the sections that I want: summary, a quote, And in many cases, when you're building something like this, you want to use a source document that has some information. So pick that, click Generate, and after a few seconds, you get a visually stunning and professional-looking page that's a great way to get started that features the sections that you laid out while also using the information from your source document to actually put it in there. From here on, you can go ahead and modify it, and one of the things you can use is the Editor Copilot. You can use it to rewrite the text, change the tone from casual to professional, and even go from paragraphs to bullets. Now, I showed you that demo, but let's do one more. This time, let's do another update, but with a couple of different sections. But I am a native Spanish speaker, so I'm going to go ahead and not only give it the source document, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in Spanish. Click Generate and wait for it. Bam! You get the same page, but in Spanish with the same context, but now fully in Spanish so that I can get started. Isn't this fantástico? Yay! Okay. Vamos a hablar de marcas. Oh, wait, I should switch to English, right? Let's talk about branding. An organization's identity is critical when building your intranet. And a part of that identity is conveyed through the typography used. After much anticipation, I'm excited to show that custom fonts is real and coming real soon. We just started rolling out to targeted release last week. Woo! With custom fonts, you'll be able to not only use from new Microsoft-provided fonts, but you'll be able to bring your own. So here I go and open Change the Look. I see this new font preview, and from here, I can go ahead and switch to Aptos. You'll notice that the site title, as well as the navigation and the text, automatically changes. And these are from the Microsoft-provided ones. Let's do that again. Now, in my organization, here I'm part of Relic Cloud, I want to be able to use my own. And so I've done that here, and here's Gotham. And just like that, you can see your own font on your sites and pages. Now, you're probably wondering, how did I set that up? So in the new Brand Center experience, from here, I can go ahead and upload my own font and create my own font packages that apply not only to SharePoint, but Viva connections as well. Pretty cool, right? Yeah. Yay. Okay, so now that we talked about branding, let's talk about pages. Now, pages today are good, but they're about to get a major upgrade with a combination of top requested features by customers like yourselves, as well as some goodness from us, and I'm about to show you some real working code of it. Now, the first thing is we start from the top of the page experience, which is the first thing that all users see. From here, I can go ahead, and you'll notice that I have the flexibility to control what's at the top of the page. We want to empower you with that. Now, because I'm building a product launch page, I have this countdown, which looks good, but I want to make it pop. So I'm going to go ahead and click here, Properties, and I can use new section backgrounds to be able to make it more interesting. And this just hit all tenants just a couple weeks ago. Now this looks good, but I want to kind of customize and add my own background. So I go ahead and select here, and now I'll have my own custom background directly in my section. And we give you a set of options from fill mode to overlay color to even overlay opacity, so I can go and fine tune it to how I want it to look. Looks pretty good. Now, I can go ahead also and set a focal point so you can see how it looks in the different viewports. Now, in many cases, I know this is exciting, but you're probably wanting your top of the page to be a place where you put resources to other content. And for that, we have our Hero web part. Well, I'm excited to show that Hero is getting reimagined. Here is our new Hero web part. It features a new layout called Carousel and different styles so that you can have a more unique and more interesting looking page. Come on, that looks pretty good, right? So let's go back to this page. Now, up next, I scroll down my page and I find this section. This section looks good, but I wish I had ideas for how I could make it better. Well, we're taking a page out of PowerPoint and bringing design ideas to life in Pages. With design ideas, it takes your very own content and gives you suggestions with different layouts to make your content more interesting and save you time. And here's a quick look at what that looks like. We also, Design Ideas leverages all the brand new features that we've built in, so it's also a source of inspiration for what you can achieve with all our capabilities. So hopefully you'll be excited to use this and make you a designer out of it. Pretty cool, right? Yay! I know you guys had lunch, so like. Up next, let's look. We have this video part. I can go ahead and change it to theater. And as I scroll down, I come over to this section, and this section looks good, but I envisioned something better, but I'm kind of restricted to these 3 columns. Well, not anymore. We're adding flex layouts. With flex layouts, you have the ability to resize your sections freely, and we give you access to the 12 columns. So you can do what you need and bring your vision to life. And here I go ahead and drag and drop an image, and you can resize it to the size that you want. So this is pretty exciting. This is based on a lot of feedback from a lot of you, so hope you're excited as we are. Now, I don't have the time to build this full on stage, so let's use some pixie dust and go from here to here. And here's just a look at the type of sections you can now build with flexible layouts. You can move content around. Thank you. You can even go and specify the text. And you go from that to look something that looks like this. Pretty good, right? Now, let's switch over and look at what this page, the final page, looks like. So here we are with using section backgrounds with the countdown, design ideas, this video, more section backgrounds, and finally, the flexible layout to build the page of your dreams. Now, I showed you all the how to build a page. There's one more on the authoring that I want to showcase. Now, if you need to work with others on content, like a status update or a process document that you need to get to work with others on, last year we introduced Pages Sharing. With Pages Sharing, you can invite others, just like you do for files today, to collaborate with you without having to worry about giving access to the full site. We're very excited about that. But you still had to take turns. So I'm super excited to showcase that really soon, as soon as June, we'll be releasing Pages co-authoring. With Pages co-authoring, multiple editors can edit the same page and the same section at the same time. This will really unblock you from having to take turns, which is great. At the top of the page, you'll be able to see who's there with you, and you can see not only what they're working on, but also as they do updates right there. So we really hope that this is gonna be boundaryless and really enable you all to collaborate together at the same time. So, yay! Now, with all the innovations I already showed, you can build beautiful and great looking pages. But we know that to make great pages, you also need to make them compelling. And for that, we believe video is critical. We're excited to show you how we're making SharePoint and Stream better together. Stream is Microsoft 365's video service, where colleagues can share and watch videos, be it training videos, presentations, or meeting recordings. So let me show you what we're doing. So here I am, back to Project Sphere, and I have this video that I want to get started with. So I go ahead and click on that, and it opens up in Stream. From here, I can go ahead and react to the video. I can go ahead and trim the video if I need to, and do things like add chapters and all that good stuff. And pretty soon, you'll also be able to add interactive elements, like, for example, the link that you see here, so somebody can click right from the video. You'll also be able to put a form into your video so that you can survey the folks that are watching it, which is pretty cool, just like that. Now, another cool thing is that we're adding Copilot to Stream. And with Copilot, you can do things like summarize the video. So for Demo Magic, let's see what that looks like. So here you can see how it took that video and gave you the key topics and the times. So you don't have to watch the whole thing. You can ask it what things should you watch. You could also ask it to list you any of the action items covered in the video, saving you a bunch of time. So hopefully that is as exciting for you as it is for me. Now, this looks good, but I need to go and make more additional edits on this video. And so let's talk about Microsoft Clipchamp. From here, I can go ahead and open Clipchamp. Oh no, I heard the laughing. This is what happens when you demo live. Okay, let's switch here. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. So here is Microsoft Clipchamp. From here, I can go ahead and add graphics to my video, transitions, stock video, audio, all those more complex things that I couldn't do from the stream side. So really empowering you to be a video creator as well. So now back to that. Now that once my video is entirely complete and ready to go, I can go ahead and click share. And because we're bringing SharePoint and Stream better together, directly from here, I can go ahead and get a news post created. And it gives me a set of templates to pick from. I'm going to go ahead and select this one. And just like that, I get this really nice looking template that has the video already plugged in for me, as well as the description pulled in as well. Now yay, thank you. Now let's do some demo magic again. And now I've went ahead and configured it to look just like this. Now, one of the pillars Zach talked about was making sure that your content is where users are, generating engagement for it. And so last year, we introduced the News in Outlook feature to get content where users are in email. So I'm excited to show that that feature has gone really, really well, and we're building enhancements to it. And so let me show you how it works. I'll be able to, now that my news post is ready to go, I can hit post and send. And I can see the news post right here. Type in who I'm sending this to. There we go. Click send. And now I go over to Outlook. And here I can now see my news post fully rendered in here. And I can go ahead and also play the video in line. So making creation faster than ever. And with that, I hope you all are as excited as I am for all these enhancements, and thank you all so much.
Thank you, Melissa. All right, we saw amazing stuff. As a heavy sites user myself, I love how I can make such compelling and beautiful pages for my team. Now let's go ahead and turn to that roadmap. Again, you can keep your eye on when things are available, some available now. We'll take a second, get your picture in. I know more than a few of you are excited about those custom fonts, so make sure you know when things are coming. All right, now we're going to move on and talk a little bit about the past. Back in Ignite of last year, we shared with you SharePoint Premium. We shared our ambition for how we believe that AI can simplify content processes and workflow. We talked about all of these across these three pillars: content processing, content solutions, and advanced insights and controls. Here to share the latest on advanced content management, please join me in welcoming to the stage Sesha Mani.
Hello, everyone. We can do better than that, yeah? Hello, everyone. That's better. I am super excited to share with you the latest innovations in advanced content management, starting with AI-powered document processing. At Ignite, we shared with you the 8 capabilities based on the AI-powered processing. These are the core capabilities that frame and formulate a strong enterprise content management product. We bring them as the mainstream capabilities by modernizing them with AI, make it ready for you, easy to use, right in SharePoint, but not only that, across all the places where SharePoint powers Microsoft 365. Today, to give you a taste, I'm going to share with you 2 capabilities. Starting with advanced metadata tagging. How many metadata fans in the audience? Yeah? Well, we're going to make your life much more easier. This is a typical document library where I have many statements of work. I got to extract deliverables off of these SOWs. What usually takes hours, perhaps days of work. With the AI-powered autofill columns capability, you can do it in minutes. Let's take a look. So here, I'm going to add a new column, and starting with a simple AI prompt to extract the deliverables off of these SOW documents. I test it out, looks good. I'm going to now select all the files, and then with simple one click, select autofill, the magic happens. The project deliverables column automatically gets filled in. AI does the heavy lifting for you, extracting all those deliverables information off of those documents, filling it in. How cool is that? Next up is collections. How many times when you share or request files from the external users, they ask you, Sesha, is it really you, or is it really your organization that is requesting these files? With our new rich and branded external sharing, now you can customize and tailor the request files invitations that you send to our external users so that they can confidently see, as you can see in this picture, it is indeed coming from the Contoso organization and the specific user Sesha, so that they can provide you the files that you requested. But we are not stopping here. Built on top of these AI-powered document processing capabilities are our content-driven solutions. Today, I'm going to share with you Agreement Solution end-to-end. Agreement Solution removes the drudgery in contracts lifecycle process. It maximizes the value of your content by infusing intelligence in daily business processes. To illustrate that, let's take an example of Daisy Phillips, who is a sales business line owner at Contoso, and she needs to create agreements with her suppliers. Let's see how Agreement Solution is empowering her. She turns to Agreements app in Teams. She gets a panoramic view of all the agreements she is involved with. To create a new agreement, she simply selects the category template, in this case, statement of work, and the document is created, opening up in the native Word experience. She then simply selects Fabricam as the supplier. The rest of the fields, thanks to the AI, gets automatically filled in. Now the document is ready for e-signature. She selects SharePoint e-signature and Carlos at Fabricam as the e-signer. Yes, you heard it right. SharePoint e-signature, the e-signature native capability right within Microsoft 365. Now here, Carlos receives and reviews the agreement, e-signs it. Now Daisy gets the notification that the agreement is e-signed and executed. There are two notable points in this demo. Number one, throughout this transaction, this agreement stays within your tenant's Microsoft 365 trust boundary, even though there was an external user involved. Second, as you noticed in the e-sign providers list, not only SharePoint e-signature, Daisy can select DocuSign and Adobe Sign as well. Thank you to our partnership with DocuSign and Adobe. We have integrated SharePoint e-signature platform within their e-sign products, bringing comprehensive, durable values to our collective customers. Now, you may wonder, what about my existing legacy agreement templates that I have in file servers, perhaps in other repositories? Can I take advantage of these modern AI capabilities for those? Absolutely. Daisy now turns into the new template experience where she can select as a source those existing legacy templates. Then AI does the magic, and it's going to extract all the necessary fields from that template. She simply has to review those fields, make modifications, and then accepts them. And that's it. At the end of this process, all these legacy agreement templates are now modernized and ready to take advantage of all the AI capabilities that I showed you as well. You like it? Yeah? All these demos show, they see like users, how Agreement Solution empowers them throughout the contract's lifecycle, before, during, and after the contracts are signed. But not only for Daisy like sales business line users. Agreement Solution is for all business line users, be it procurement, HR, and legal departments in your organization. For example, here, Megan Bound is the business line owner for legal. She can review all her NDAs and SLAs right here in the agreement solution. On the other hand, Nestor, who is the procurement business line owner, can review purchase agreements, reimbursements, rebate offer agreements, all within agreement solution. So, one destination for all your agreements across all your business lines in your organization, maximizing the value of your content, bringing the transformative agreements and contracts solution for this AI era. That's the agreement solution. With that, let me now switch gear to the next segment, security and management. How many SharePoint admins are in the house today? Well, quite a lot of them. You're going to love this segment. Organizations' digital estate, as they exponentially grow, you need advanced tools and policies to manage content at scale. As Jeff pointed out in his keynote this morning, with our SharePoint Advanced Management, for short we call it SAM, we are bringing comprehensive tools to manage oversharing, content lifecycle, and content sprawl. Let me show you, starting with oversharing. Users, intentionally or unintentionally, they share their content with a broader audience, especially as you look at deploying Copilot for all the users. You have to address the oversharing problem to avoid overexposure of your corporate content to unauthorized users. No worries, with the SharePoint Advanced Management Permissions State Report, you can achieve just that. Let me show you. So here, John is a SharePoint admin for Contoso. He turns to data access governance in SharePoint Admin Center, wants to create a permission report for all SharePoint sites that are permissioned for more than 1,000 users. He gets a report back with the top sites sorted by highest number of permissioned users. He can even initiate site access review with the site owners. In this case, Nestor happens to be a site owner. He gets the notification. With one click, Nestor can now see all the over-permissioned items in his site, including files, folders, list, images, you name it. He can then confirm back to the admin that he took care of the access permissions in his site. So that's how easy it is to detect the over-permission problems, delegate to the site owners, and then address those problems right away. But honestly speaking, how many site owners are going to respond to those notifications, right? Maybe 20%, maybe 30%, really depending on how much relationship has been established between admins and site owners. So here, as an admin, for cases where the owners have not responded, or you really want to mitigate the problem right away, you can turn into, for example, here, the Contoso marketing site, the owner has not responded. Admin can simply click Restrict Site Access and configure the access control policy by selecting Contoso Marketing Security Group. And what this policy enforces is, in order to gain access to the content, the user must be permissioned, and the user must be part of this Contoso Marketing Control Group as well. So with just few clicks, you are able to mitigate the oversharing problem. And more importantly, even for Copilot overexposure, you are able to address it right away. Such a powerful SharePoint authorization policy. You like it? Admins out there? So now the question is, Sesha, this is great, addressing over-permission sites. But what about rest of the sites? What about rest of the policies, like block download policy, external sharing policy? I want to ensure all my sites are properly configured with the right set of policies. Well, as an administrator, SharePoint admin, you all know, policy is a fairly complex topic. And we keep adding, as necessary, more and more policies as well. Guess what? We are bringing AI to the mix now. We are making it easy for you so that you don't have to worry about it. Allow me to introduce AI-powered policy recommendations. The AI engine scans through all your sites, thousands, hundred thousands, millions of sites in your tenancy, doesn't matter. It will scan through all the sites and then come back with the recommendation for you. Let's take a look. Here, John, the admin, turns into AI-powered policy recommendations. He wants to create a report for potentially overshared sites in legal department. For that, he takes the input reference sites from the existing legal sites that are already properly configured, and then scopes the sites that are unlabeled and created in the last 30 days. The report comes back showing 150 sites that semantically matches that legal sites, along with recommended policies for all those sites. For example, risk management site right here, it shows me the site details as well as the policies recommended for that specific site, including block download policy and external sharing policy. And with one click, I can just accept those policies. Now that site is protected with the right set of policies itself. So what would have taken months of cognitive workload and perhaps a PhD in SharePoint policies, John, as an administrator, can make it happen in a matter of few hours with this AI-powered policy recommendations. You like it? I have one last thing to show you. This is the last demo of my segment, so let's finish it strong, shall we? With the power of Copilot, we are taking the SharePoint administration to the whole new level. With the superpower of Copilot, we are bringing that for SharePoint admins. You know, with IT admins and SharePoint admins, sometimes it's chaotic. More open browsers than you can count, incidents and escalations popping up all the time. That's the daily life. But with Copilot for admins, it's different. It helps you simplify and focus. Let's take a look. Here, the Copilot in SharePoint Admin Center, I asked it to compile for me the full list of tenant settings. It returns me a CSV file with the full compiled list. I then ask for, please analyze these settings for oversharing and suggested actions. It came back and provided 3 actions, including turn off everyone except external users security group, which is the culprit for most of the time oversharing problem. Then I asked it, what are the potential overshared sites in my tenancy? It suggested, go take a look at the data access governance report rightfully. And then I asked it to initiate site access review for the top 10 overshared sites. It did it for me as well. So all the advanced policies, controls, and reports that I showed you that are as part of SharePoint Advanced Management, now you can invoke them right within Copilot in native language. It's the game-changing moment for our industry. With Copilot for admins, you can do in minutes what used to take all day. How cool is that? So that was a whirlwind tour of all the new innovations we are bringing as part of advanced content management. I hope you all are as excited as I am with these capabilities. With that, I'm going to ask Zach back on stage. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sesha. I'm going to jump us right into that roadmap slide. I want you all to see just how much of these capabilities are already available for you to use today or coming in the near future. And if you haven't used our content processing, I implore you to give it a try. There's something just magical about taking a complex manual process that you've been doing for years and automating it with no code. Speaking of code, we're going to move on to our last topic of the day. SharePoint has a unique role as the platform powering all of this innovation. And we want to connect the data in SharePoint to whatever tools, processes, or flows your users are using. We want every application in the world to be able to leverage the many years we've spent building all this innovation and capability. And so here to talk to us about platform and extensibility, I'd like to introduce Ashu Rawat.
Hello, everyone, and hello, Orlando. I'm so excited to be here today to talk about SharePoint, which is not just an app, but as a platform. So all the great things you saw today, those features, they're all powered by the building blocks of our platform, which has come a long way in the last 24 years. And in that journey, our primary focus has been to provide to our partners and customers a performance, scalable, reliable platform while also keeping extensibility as our core principle. And when we think about building on this platform, there are two pathways of doing so. You can do that by extending on the user experience or by building on data and APIs. Let's start by talking about how you can do so with user experience leveraging SharePoint Framework. SharePoint Framework has grown to be an important part of Microsoft 365 ecosystem. And so much so that we now have more than 200 million user interactions every month across Teams, Viva, and of course, SharePoint. Since its inception in 2017, we have shipped 20 versions of SharePoint Framework. That's a lot of versions to be shipped, and we have done so with the partnership with all of you guys, our partners, our community, one of the best tech communities out there. So thank you. Thank you for being engaging community and giving us the valuable feedback that helps us grow. When we think of SharePoint, it's one thing it's really great at is bringing disparate content together. And that's exactly what Viva Connections leverages. Viva Connection is one of our newer offerings, which leverages SharePoint Framework features and user experience flexibility to bring together beautiful looking dashboards that are also functional. And as developers, you can create those beautiful experiences catering to specific business verticals. Not just that, you can even bring them down to specific users and personas. Let's take a look at this dashboard that's built specifically for flight attendants in the airlines industry. As developer, you have so much flexibility to build the cards, leveraging Card Designer or a slew of third-party partnerships that we bring in, and using those, you meet your customers where they are. Not just that, if you are an ISV or a customer who's invested in legacy applications or you've created line of business applications, you can surface them in Viva Connections as cards. And just similar to that, you can also bring in third-party cards leveraging the APIs. And this experience is available not just in the desktop, but also on different mobile form factors. And what do you get by doing so? Well, it opens up room for you to offer these experiences not just for information workers, but extend them to frontline workers and the mobile workers who need the access to these applications on the go. And once again, as developers, you don't have to do this for multiple platforms. You only do it once, and it automatically adapts to all the different supported platforms and form factors. Well, with that, we saw how SharePoint Framework empowers developers to create personalized and impactful experiences. Now let's talk about how you could do the same thing with data and APIs. And well, when it comes to data and APIs, Microsoft Graph is your gateway to accessing the data. And we are humbled and thrilled to see the growth of Graph with over 270 billion interactions every month from SharePoint and OneDrive alone. That's a huge number. And we are making Graph the primary supported API surface for SharePoint and OneDrive. And since we know that this has been important for you, just as of 2 weeks ago, you can now create pages using Graph. There are a new set of Pages APIs that will allow you to create, update, delete pages on SharePoint sites. How many of the developer friends here have been waiting for that? And since when it comes to data and APIs, we know that permissioning and security is super important. We are working also on releasing very soon resource-specific consent. What does that mean? Well, with resource-specific consent, you will be able to grant permissions to specific resources within SharePoint, which would mean pages, lists, or sites. And not just that, we've also heard with the growth of SharePoint over the period of times, granular scoping has become super important. And that's where we are introducing more scopes. And once again, to my developer friends here, they'll probably be very excited to hear that we are starting the granular scopes with sites creation, which means you can now create sites without having to give control to all sites. Isn't that amazing? Awesome. And now let's look at the latest kid in the block, SharePoint Embedded, every developer's dream, right? Well, built on Microsoft 365 security and compliance with consumptive APIs, this new model of developing content applications will be a game changer for developers. You can bring user experience stack of your choice, having the full control on it to build any content app you would like. Currently, this is under public preview, and I would love to share what one of our ISV partners is doing with SharePoint Embedded. They are a UK-based company that builds legal software solutions, and they are using SharePoint Embedded to bring experiences around file organization and collaboration within their Outlook extension. Let's take a look. So their product, which is called Peppermint Connect, is an Outlook extension that integrates deeply into Microsoft 365 ecosystem. Developers at Peppermint are using the advanced document functions and features like custom metadata, rich permissions, version management, folder management, and full text search, along with full power Office integration, and they have brought all of that natively into their Outlook extension. Not just that, they're also able to take advantage of Microsoft 365 security and compliance, like e-discovery and sensitivity labeling, to ensure they're able to meet the legal industry's critical regulated requirements. And with that, I am very excited to say I am looking forward to you guys implementing and using SharePoint Framework and SharePoint Embedded and drives streamlining of your business requirements. And that's all I had today. Thank you very much. Back to you, Zach.
All right. Thank you, Ashu. All right, there's so much great stuff coming for developers on the platform. I still just think it's amazing you can write an SPFX app, have it work in Teams and Outlook and across all the devices they have to support. So really powerful stuff here. This is going to help bring us to the end. I have a couple of closing thoughts. First of all, we covered a lot here today, but we did have some blogs go live earlier today. I highly recommend you go check them out. They go into way more depth and detail than we could possibly do in just an hour here with you. We also have amazing sessions. Tons of people from Microsoft here. There's a few ideas on the screen, but you can't go wrong. Pick some sessions, learn some things. There's a lot to look forward to. And so with that, I just want to say thank you for coming out. Let's go put our data to work.